iRobot is the movie that we watched, and iRobot is the movie that we will talk about today on the Movie Propcast. Welcome to another episode of the Movie Propcast. Yes, I know now we're thinking like, why is he doing this? I don't know, because every time we start a podcast, it's weird. I don't know why. It's one of the weirdest things in the world. If you've ever attempted to make a podcast or any kind of content with your voice or show or anything, starting it can be a little rough. And that's why you tune into this podcast, is so you can listen to how weird it is, how we start, not only start, but end the podcast. Tyler.
I feel like we've got that down. I think the ending is pretty solid.
The ending is pretty good. And that's a good tease now, because now somebody who's now listened to this has to wait for the hour long, however long we're going to talk about this movie to get to the end, because they don't have the ability to fast forward. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at your device to try to figure out how to do that. Just accept the fact that you're stuck with us for another hour and enjoy iRobot. And now I guess I should ask you, did you enjoy kind of rewatching iRobot? Because admittedly it had been a long time. And knowing that this movie came out in 2004, I didn't realize it was 2004.
I didn't until that first CGI clip came up. And then I was like, oh, this is an early 2000s movie. No, it was good, though. It felt good. I didn't realize this is the 20th year it came out, which is wild. 20 years that iRobot came out. And we're only 11 years away from the setting of like the timeline it takes place in. They're in 2035. So we have work to do because we're not there yet.
We're not progressing in the robot department
very
well.
Well, I just sent you a link to the Apple Vision Pro. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yo,
those
wild.
Are sweet.
Wild.
So,
but yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that the VR stuff, that they've been kind of spinning their tires on the VR stuff, like the Ready Player One world that we were trying to build. That would be kind of crazy.
Don't say it, man. Don't say it.
It would be awesome, but it would also be extremely terrifying for like everyone's health. But I don't know if you have a Samsung. I don't know how long ago you got one of these, but there was a time, I don't know if it was like the early 2010s where I got a Samsung. Might have been like, maybe not early 2010s, maybe like 2015. They gave me like a little VR headset with my phone, and they were doing VR on the phone. So you'd set it to that, you'd pop it right in front, and you'd have a VR, and it was honestly pretty convincing for just a cell phone.
I've had a Samsung for a while. I've never had an Apple phone. Not that I'm saying that's terrible. Even though now I realize like all of these NS5s look like they'd be made by Apple.
They definitely, that might have been like in the thought process. And I didn't get into the nitty gritty to get the background, but like, yeah, the NS5s, they definitely look like if like Samsung was making robots for 4th generation and Apple was like, look what we've created. This was all our idea. This is a genius idea by us. And like, it is better. Like, it's really nice and it runs smoothly. It looks good, but it definitely wasn't their idea first. I don't know.
But no, I never had VR. I wish I did. You bring up Ready Player One. One, that's one of my favorite books ever. Two, the movie did a pretty good job. Like, it would be a sad dystopian world, like you said, if everyone was just stuck at home doing that. But I also don't think I would ever be happier than I would.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. So listen, I'm probably not leaving my house very often, but I'm socializing more than ever, right? Because you know what I mean? It's insane. It's such a weird. And granted, I will admit there's definitely a disconnect in that there's not being like person to person. Like hanging out with a person in real life is obviously the ideal thing.
Yeah.
But it's getting expensive to go outside, all right? I'm just going to hang out inside and we'll just play some games and talk.
Did you see the movie? You can't even tell. Like, you put on the set and you can make it look like your basement. Like, you're hanging out at your friend's house. Like, you're next to each other. So
obviously what we're talking about is we did not watch Ready Player One. And I don't think that, I don't think we could do it. I don't think we could do an episode on Ready Player One because it's like 98% CGI.
That makes me so sad. We might have to do a CGI spinoff or something.
We could probably do something. But all that being said, what is it? The virtual reality headsets. I had it twice. I had it with Samsung, and I did actually take the first generation PlayStation VR I had.
Oh.
It was awesome.
Damn.
But it just sat there.
No. It was just called...
No, it's PSVR, and they have it now for the PlayStation 5. And I'm so excited for that technology. And right now, like you said, you did send me the Apple Vision. We're on our tangent right now, just talking. We're going to get back to
It's
iRobot here
robots.
for a
It's
second.
robots.
Yeah, it's robots on your eyeballs. The Apple Vision is awesome. The Meta Quest is really cool. Like I think they all kind of do different things.
Hmm.
I think Apple might be a little more restricted in what I've seen because I have been researching it. I'm
Hmm.
genuinely, I don't want to drop $500 on it,
Dude,
but it's tempting.
it looks the video I sent, like it shows you the interface and it
Yeah.
looks smooth. Like
It
it
is.
looks
It is just
very
like that.
clean.
What I didn't have on the prior versions of the VR stuff that I've been messing with is I didn't have the cameras on the outside, which is like a
Yeah.
game changer because it's not just VR. That's augmented reality. Now it's like you're
Yes.
seeing what you're near, so you're not bumping into crap, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And things are just popping up. But what was really cool is I don't know. I'm really fascinated with it, but I know for a fact if I spent $500 on it now,
Hmm.
it would probably take me about a month to be like, I've done it all.
Yeah.
I'll wait for the next update maybe, and
Yeah.
then it would just sit there and I'd feel really bummed out. But it was really cool to be able to put, even with this just a Samsung one. I wish they would maybe, I don't know if they still even do that, but if I could do it with my new phone now, just watching Netflix laying in bed on a pillow right there was awesome. Like
That
there was
can't be good for your eyes. It can't be.
it there's no way it is. But what I'm saying is like they had it look like you could just do the screen on black, but you could also make it look like you were in a living room and you're looking around and you're like, I can look out the window. Like it was sick. And this was just a
What?
phone. This was like 8 years ago. Like this is insane. Anyway, like you said, we're progressing nicely that way, but as far as robotics and being in your home and iRobot style stuff, I would welcome that. I think if it was done in the way that this is done, and it did seem like they had everything kind of put together in the right way. One issue aside,
Hmm.
everything was going smoothly. There was no crime reported for any robots ever,
Yeah.
despite what the main character of the movie would have you believe.
Yeah.
I would be pretty excited about this world, I think.
I feel like I want to be, but I'm thinking about how I reacted when Google Home and I forgot, like, and Alexa became
Yeah,
big. And even now, like the fact that I know for a fact my TV has a microphone that's almost always on.
yeah.
Like those things, like I know if I say the wrong thing, my phone is going to start Google searching. Like that, knowing that I'm being picked up at all times still kind of bothers me. I feel like I'd be closer to Spooner, Will Smith's character, than I would be to like everyone else in that movie. I definitely
So
wouldn't be the doctor. She
yeah,
was indoctrinated. Like
she
she
was like
breathed
like
to
she has not
robots.
actually talked to humans for very much in her life, which was very interesting. Let's talk about Spooner a little more because the name is amazing. Del
One
Spooner.
sec.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is to go back to my shtick. This is our third Will Smith movie.
And it won't be our
Uh,
last.
we've said that. I feel like we just keep racking up Will Smith. Like, this is our third, I believe, Will Smith movie. Second Shia LaBeouf movie. I did not
Okay,
realize he was in this.
stop. Come
I
on.
had no idea he was in this movie.
We're really going to count this as a Shia LaBeouf movie because I
It's,
wrote that down when I saw him and I was like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot they threw Shia LaBeouf in this movie.
they
And guess
did.
what? The director forgot too because he was gone the
Yes.
entirety of the movie until the very end where they're like, hey, what about that teenager that he was friends with?
Well,
How do we pigeonhole him back in?
this is still even Steven Shia, I think, or fresh off even Stevens Shia,
Yeah.
like not Transformer Shia yet. I think we're
Which
like a year or two out.
he might have got this role because of the way he interacted with robots in this film. All right. I'm not going
Yeah,
to say he got typecast, but I'm saying he was in this
it might have
movie.
helped. It might
He
have
could
helped.
go, I was in iRobot. And they'd look at the 2 seconds he was in this film and be like, look at that interaction with a CGI robot. You're our star. And
Yeah,
that got him the role. I don't know. We'll see about that. But again, I don't think it was significant enough to be like Shia LaBeouf movie. But
I know.
he was I mean, if you go on like the hierarchy of characters, he was probably like top 5. And like honestly, he was at the bottom of it because it cuts off and there's nobody after about 5 characters, I think.
It's kind of like how I counted Small Soldiers as a Kristen Dunst movie or Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst is in that movie significantly.
She, I okay. We did three. What did we do? We did Small Soldiers, Spider Man,
Spider-Man,
and there was
um,
one more
I
that. Oh, Jumanji. Jumanji.
Jumanji. Yeah,
I
okay,
guess
that works.
she was in all of. Okay,
She
never
was
mind.
in
That's
it.
not the
No,
same. Yeah,
that's her. Yeah, she was
that's
in
not
it.
the same. Okay.
But okay, I want to talk about Del Spooner
Yes,
because
dude.
awesome. Well, who made this name? Apparently, this was a book before. I did not know that. I found that out. This was a book. Um, Del Spooner, naming somebody last name Spooner is just very interesting. But I mean, it is what it is. No one really made a big deal about it. There was no spooning jokes at all in this film. I was a little disappointed.
No.
I'm glad I didn't write this movie because people would not. We wouldn't. Nobody would be doing a podcast about it if I wrote this movie. I want to talk about how much in the first maybe 5 minutes of this film you got to see how much this dude hated robots.
Dude, he was I literally he's racist. Like I wrote bigot and racist.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be racist against a robot. If you could, it is him.
He was racist.
Yep. All right. Coin it.
And that's gonna be a thing. Whenever we get to this point, I promise you, we're gonna have like racist movements that are gonna be sweeping the nation. How robot lives are gonna be changing. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy in the future.
The things he said, like, I hate to take it there, but the things he said, and it's funny coming from like a black person, are things you would hear someone say about a black person. He's like, I saw a robot running with a purse. It's like, wait a minute. Right. He said that out loud.
So
yeah.
Watching this back, listen, when I first watched this, and honestly, every other time I watched it before this last watch, movie was awesome to me. Not that it's not awesome, but I will say, watching it with a critical eye for this film, kind of made it a little worse. All right, I don't know if I love it as much as I used to love it. All right, it did knock it down.
That goes for everything. Well, critical eye in what? As in, like, explain what you mean.
Characters, like the way that they acted, like the development of the characters. Especially Spooner. Now I'm looking for like I'm trying to find reasoning in why he's like this, and I understand that they do explain there was a moment in the film where a robot had a choice to save a life when kind of things were hitting the fan.
Yeah,
and he chose him over this 11-year-old girl, this little girl who I think 11% chance of living. He had a 41% chance of living. You can hate a robot, fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I guess now when I was writing that down and later on in the film, I was like trying to figure out the timeline of when this happened to him.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't figure out when it happened, because whenever he's talking to his police chief, it sounded like he had just come back from leave after his accident, right?
He was like, "You want to go back home?" And he was like, "Nah, I can't yet." Or he was like, "I don't want to. I'm better here than being home."
So he had been off
like
for
it
a while.
happened last week.
Like it had just happened within the last year.
Yeah.
However, you know that there's so much more because he had a lot going on. What was it? I forget what the doctor's name was. Alfred Lanning.
Yeah.
He had an interaction with Alfred Lanning that you find out about a little bit later in the movie. That he then was given the fancy arm at some point. It's fancy. It's a fancy arm. Listen, I'd be pretty excited. Listen, I would not be thrilled that my arm got ripped off.
Yeah.
But I'd be pretty hyped to have a robotic arm.
You were going to say a superpower arm or something like that. It sounded like you were going to say.
I mean, I would be pretty hyped to have one superpower arm. I mean, that'd be pretty sweet. But no, I'm trying to figure out. So you have this track record of, and he said it was an NS4. I think he said it was an NS4.
Like the previous generation. But also the cars. Did the cars look like automatic cars?
No, because when he's talking, that's another thing I wrote down.
Yeah.
He's talking about a truck driver that fell asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
But every other car in this moment is self-driving. So it's like, which is it? I don't know what it is. How far back did you go? Did we just get self-driving cars in the last year? I don't know. I'm trying to place that. I should just close my eyes and just watch the film with my eyes closed, is apparently what people are doing. But the only reason I say this is because I'm trying to figure out why he hates them so much. And if that's the only reason, and when the police chief asks, how many times have you ever seen a robot do something bad, break any crime, or do any crime, break any law? It's never happened. So why is he so adamant that he's going to chase something down? And even the robot that saved his life didn't do anything wrong.
Yes.
It did the most logical thing. So why is he now all of a sudden thinking these things are out to kill people?
This has got it. And I kind of wish I had read the book to this, and I might have to throw it on my list. This is probably something where we're missing something in the book. Like maybe it's got to do with his relationship because he's divorced. It's got, like, I'm sure there's something that we're missing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure someone will comment on it, but we're definitely missing something, because you're right. His anger and his hatred is very misplaced. Like,
Right.
no matter how much I don't like new technology, I'm not going to be adamantly against it and hate it if all it's done until that point has made my life better and easier.
Right. Yeah, it's really fascinating how he's so angry, and that kind of was one I just wanted to figure out why that was a thing.
Mm.
The other thing that I was trying to figure out is I think he might actually genuinely be insane. Like
Oh yeah,
watching
yeah,
this back, I'm like trying to figure out, am I supposed to like this guy? Like off rip, you're like, man, these things are helping people's lives. They're carrying groceries. They're like saving a woman because she left her inhaler, and
yep,
he's just like, get out of my face, get out of my face, tin can. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just shoving. Like, what? Come on, man. It was weird.
I,
I was like, I kind of was rooting for those NS4 and lowers.
yeah.
I wanted to hug one of those things, man.
My wife said that. She was like, I want one of each of the old ones. She was like, I don't care about the
Yeah.
NS5s. She was like, I want one of each of the old ones.
They're just like so lovable. They need their own like
Yeah.
spin-off where it's like, oh, what are we gonna do with
I
ourselves?
mean, they can. They're like going off to make their own society or something.
Well, what was weird is that we're jumping all the way around the movie, obviously,
Mm.
but we're going to get into the draft here a little bit. I will be going first in the draft, which, by
Mm.
the way, we can talk about that real quick. Is I went down on my list and I was like, this is a sci-fi movie. Why is my list so small? Why?
Mine is relatively decent.
It's not. I expected so much more, but as far as
Mhm.
like iconic, really cool, like techie stuff, I
Yeah,
didn't
you're
think there
right.
was a whole lot going on in this film.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, going back to what happened at the end when you see Sonny, who is the NS5 that has free will and can think and dream and do all the fun stuff. At the end, he's overlooking those robots. Those are all, which is I think is right behind us in this. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see our little backdrop, but they're somewhere back there. Those are NS5s. Those are the NS5s now back in the bins because the NS5s tore apart all those other old ones. But you got to think
Yeah.
that's not all the old robots, right? They're in
Yeah.
Lake Michigan. I doubt that's every robot in the country is in
Yeah.
Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Uh,
I made a note. I don't know if after a robot almost kills me, I don't know if I could go back to trusting robots again. Like
yeah.
I think we're done. We tried it once, didn't work. I'm out. We're
You know
done.
what's funny is at the end of this movie, they said what it was 2035 or 2036.
Yeah.
I forget what the year was
2035.
exactly. I thought it was funny that the NS5s, they went through 4 iterations of these robots. None of them were Wi-Fi compatible. None of them had
Yes.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
until the 5th one. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so those guys are cool because they can't accept updates via the Wi-Fi, like via internet. They can't just get an update. But
Yeah.
NS5, as soon as they were able to get the update from, whoever's controlling them, the
Yeah.
mystery throughout the entire film, that's what causes them to be bad. Take out the Wi-Fi chip and you got yourself quite the bot. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a nice
Uh,
bot.
I wanted to make note early on. My PT hat was on, my physical therapy hat.
Okay.
Why is he rehabbing his robotic arm? Like he's I could get massaging it because it feels foreign, even
Yeah.
though I'm sure the surgeon was good enough to do a clean job. But he's like lifting weights with it. Like he makes you they make you think the arm is injured and he's got like an old injury, which he does.
Yeah.
That arm is probably the best feeling thing on his body.
That's
Like
fair.
that arm probably feels better than the rest of his body combined.
Depending
And
on how long he's had it now, because I'm still confused.
yeah,
I mean, I still probably would wake up every day and be like, you probably get that like ghost feeling, it's like where
yeah.
like there's then that like
You
something
feel
happened,
like
there's
your
no
arm should be
limb,
there. Yeah,
but it's not there, but it is there. Like that might
yeah,
be confusing. I could see how I might have like a little tick where I'm just like constantly checking it or touching it. Like I might be okay with that.
yeah,
But it is kind of strange like how he finally, you see it in the middle of the film where he's getting attacked by just a whole bunch of them in this completely abandoned tunnel apparently in the center of Chicago,
yeah,
where he just does that and you're like, oh damn! Like I thought he was just gonna get obliterated by this giant metal stick, and then he just goes home and he sprays it.
yeah.
It's like that's it. There's all the maintenance you need as
Spray skin.
a little skin spray. I mean that was interesting, but yeah,
And you were right about the character development in this because I made note. Both ends, you either had him who is like one step away from his I Am Legend character of just pure insanity.
yeah,
And then you have everyone else who's like the doctor, who are like, robots can do no wrong. Like you're completely wrong, Spooner. You need to go somewhere because you're wrong. It's like you literally just watch Sonny pull a gun on you, and she's like, there must have been a reason why he did that, and it gave us the best chance of survival.
But
I was like, all right, now she's dumb.
Okay, but
Now
here's the thing. I have more understanding for that given the track record of these robots.
Yes.
Like I have 100% more understanding. Him, I would feel like them. Like I wouldn't be to that degree. I'd be a little open because I'm always like that. I'm like, let me hear this guy out. But the thing is, he's never at any point trying to explain. Yeah. He's just like, robots are assholes, and that's it. And there's no he doesn't explain what exactly went down. Like if he could break it down in graphic detail, every step that happened in that tunnel, instead of just being like, oh, you're not gonna believe me that it was robots. Just be like, dude, seriously, listen. Here's how it went down. Why would my car? If you look at it, my car slid here, got pushed. You think I pushed my car another 30 feet the other way? That's just crime scene investigation would tell you that's not what happens to a car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There seemed like there were quite a bit of outs that could have just been there if they just sat down at a table and actually had a conversation. Like they did at the bar, but it wasn't even a conversation. They were just like there. I don't know what that.
Just hanging out.
They're just hanging out.
Ovaltine. What was it? The Ovaltine.
It was like the
Cafe?
Ovaltine. Yeah, the Ovaltine,
the Ovaltine Cafe.
Like, I guess we got to keep that around. Which is obviously a very old, a little powdered beverage. But now that you bring that up, I do want to say props to the, I guess props department, because they made this character love classic stuff. Which classic was just happened to be early 2000s technology. So he's like, listen, we'll just put all the stuff that's out and cool now and say he's just like a retro guy. He likes all the retro stuff, which is like...
That makes you so scary about what our kids' futures are going to be like.
Yeah, yeah. Like when she's trying to... I forgot her name is. Why did I just forget the name of the woman in this movie? I don't even remember what her name was. This is embarrassing. Susan Calvin.
Yes, Calvin, Dr. Calvin.
She's trying to turn on the radio and she's like talking to it and like trying to think it's like this robot. And how have they never been educated on what that might be? Like, I don't know. It's only 30 years.
That doesn't make, I was going to say that doesn't make sense. She's clearly in her 30s, early 30s, maybe. Right. So she must have been born in 2003. She's got
you don't know what a radio is? Like a CD player?
Player what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless in this world, robots, like that technology started booming in the 2000s. I don't know.
That's hard to, it's a different universe. Obviously, you can't knock it too much, but they have Converse, so that's good.
I'm sure he paid a pretty penny for those, I'm sure.
Yeah, those throwbacks in pristine condition, which, by the way, when they said throwback vintage 2004, I'm like, those shoes came out in like 1950. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're so old. Like, I don't know. Maybe not the 50s, but Converse has been around forever, and that's the same like Chuck Taylor look. It's a timeless classic. Anything else from this film? I know I obviously there's a lot that's going on. We kind of bounced around quite a bit. I have my props. I do want to kind of break down the end of the scene where they go to Dr. Lanning's house, and by they I mean it's just Will Smith doing everything by himself pretty much. Yeah. He goes to the house. They see that's for demo the following morning. He goes in, gets some time in there. Vicky clearly knows. Vicky, being the all-seeing robot, he notices like the blue strip in there. Like Vicky knows what's up this whole time. Vicky could have shut this stuff down so much faster.
Vicky tried.
She didn't try hard enough, which I don't understand. She could have obviously just discreetly had this robot continue to chase him. He just exits the house, and then the robot's like, "Well, he's off the premises. I'm done."
Yeah, it would have been suspicious though. Imagine a giant Decepticon chasing a freaking car down the highway.
I'm sure it would have stopped at some point, but to give up right there while he's just in the pool, I don't know. Could have done a little more. That escape was a bit extreme. A lot of the escapes from this movie, a little over the top.
We got some classic Will Smith. Like the opening chase scene made me remember the Men in Black chase scene. When he just jumps onto the double-decker bus and all that stuff. And
he's fast.
He does it in Bad Boys. Like, I think Will Smith might have a nice compilation of runs right after Tom Cruise. Like,
he's
I think
up there. Oh yeah, 100%. Like Tom Cruise, I think is peak because this man gives it his all. Like I've never seen anybody. He runs like something's trying to kill him. Like he wants it. Will Smith runs and he's cool. It's cool, but he's fast. He's cool. It works. Yeah. I will say one thing now that we're talking about his stride. Will Smith, I don't know if it's just a Will Smith thing, but the way he walks,
Yeah.
He walks like he's better than everybody.
Yes.
In this in
He's
this
just
movie, strong walker. All right, like
I
unrealistically strong.
what he just everything about I forgot the shape he was in this movie
Oh yeah,
until that opening scene. Holy crap!
where he's
I
showering without a shower curtain.
Yeah,
Yeah, like what?
I'm upset that, and it's weird to phrase things like this. Like I think about movies this way. I'm upset that this version of Will Smith is done, and we won't ever get like in early 2000s, because like his charisma, his look, everything was just crazy on point. Like we have Michael B. Jordan, but
Yeah.
it's not the same.
So we did get young Will Smith in a movie recently.
What, Gemini Man?
Gemini Man, where they did the CGI young Will. Somebody had that same thought. They're like, how can we get young Will Smith back? We got to do that again. Let's make a movie about it, and it's Gemini Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
we did
God.
get so they tried to scratch that itch for you. But
They did. It
yeah.
almost worked, except it didn't. And back to iRobot. Jeez, I can't believe you threw out Gemini Man.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how we got into that. I just you said young Will Smith, and I was like, what was that awful CGI one where he's like he comes back and he's hunting himself?
I love movies with a good callback, and it's a sign of good like filmmaking. But the wink with Sonny, we get early on. Will Smith is interrogating Sonny, and he's trying to prove that Sonny feels emotions, because robots don't feel emotions, and he gets him angry. But before that, Sonny notices Will Smith winks at another cop, and he's like, "What's that?" And he was like, "It's a sign of trust." And then at the end of the movie, we get Sonny holding a gun to Dr. Calvin, and he gives him the wink. And that was a nice little callback.
So I had seen this movie a couple times before, obviously, but watching it now, I'm like, all right, I know the wink is coming. I forgot what happened immediately after that. They just start firing. I thought maybe he's like, I'll take you guys down to the thing, and Will Smith sees the wink, and he's like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna shoot. Like, why would you think that?
Not like right. Let's walk out.
We'll come with you. Yeah. But
it was almost unnecessary. Yeah. Like that whole scene could have happened without the wink. They only did that because they just placed it.
No, the wink was cool, and I think they still could have done it where Will Smith would have kind of let his guard down and then go with him and trust that robot, and it would have made everybody else think like, oh, the robot's on our side again. But instead, he's like, "Oh, okay, so we're shooting," and he just starts capping like it was like pop, pop, pop. All right, that's funny. And now that also happened in the building. Is it the USR building, which is dangerously close to the USSR? Yeah. Which I kept thinking every time I saw that, I was like, "Oh, okay, things are changed in America." But no, the USR building, they're in it. That's Vicky's home base, dude. Yeah, Vicky sees everything. Vicky could have locked one door and said, "Boop, done." I guess I shouldn't say that, because there are scenes where you see Sonny just ripping doors apart.
Ripped so many. That was like his thing.
Bro, he's a badass. I think he needed more screen time, honestly. Like that little fight scene where he was fighting a robot, he got like crazy. He's got crazy skills, man.
I honestly, that hallway scene between that and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Inception, I don't know.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's up there.
It had no business being that good. And we later found out, especially when we were on the IMDb before we started here, that Alan Tudyk, I never know how to say that. He played the role of Sonny. I think he was the voice, but I also think he did like the mocap. I think he was like in that suit. I don't know if he was doing like the fight moves. I probably don't think that was him doing like the fight moves and the choreography in the hallway. But pretty cool though. I think that was probably one of the bright spots of the film. I think Sonny's character obviously is what set everything in motion in the first place. But I'm now watching it back. I feel like they could have done more with that character, as opposed to a lot of like the buddy cop stuff that they did with Cooper.
Calvin and Cooper.
Or no, Cooper, not Cooper. Why did I say Cooper? Yeah,
Calvin and Spooner.
You said
you
Calvin.
Just mix
I was
their
like,
names.
Cooner. Yeah, no, no. Spooner and Calvin. I think that there was some good stuff. I forgot that they didn't have a sex scene in this film. For some reason, listen, I don't have to take
every Will Smith movie has to have
the
sexual tension and the sex scene.
I literally thought, I was like, and I was thinking this whole movie, I was like, I forgot, do they do it or not? I didn't know if that was a thing or not, because isn't that weird how it's like that? It's a Will Smith movie. There's a leading lady.
No, and I'm like, he doesn't have sex in Men in Black.
No, okay, but that's like a fun. This is different. This is like there was forced sexual tension, especially when she's like rubbing his chest down, and I was like, I for some reason I thought they did, and I thought I was like pre-upset because there was nothing leading to it. It was weird. I was like, can you guys just do it so I can talk about how mad I am that you guys had no chemistry?
And now you're upset that they didn't.
And now I'm upset that they didn't.
There was no forced sex in this movie.
Damn it, Will.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They relied on good writing and comedy in this.
Well, okay, they both had shower scenes, all right? They both had independent shower scenes for some reason.
But not combined.
Not combined, though. But I did
really not even simultaneous. Not even like he showers, she showers, and they're thinking about each other. Not even that.
No, but there was like the shirtless Will Smith scene, though, which was, that was why in my head I was like, oh my God, wait, I think they do it in this movie. So I was like already writing. I was like ready to go. I was like, this is so bad. And they didn't. And I was like, oh, that's a relief. I don't know why. I thought that was a thing.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Speaking of relief, I find it funny that Will Smith is finally okay with the idea of robots after they almost kill everyone. He's like, yeah, now that I know I can't trust them, I can trust them.
He knows like, why it happened, right? He's like, now I know why. That had no reason. Like Vicky had nothing to do with that NS5 and the life-saving thing. But now that Vicky's gone, it's cool. We're cool.
He's like, now that the worst happened, I can.
Well, to be fair, he's only cool with Sonny. I don't think there's like a, he's still probably weirded out by the regular robots that just like don't have any like humanizing factors.
I'm sure now he knows that those genuinely won't have any issues. It's the higher level of AI, which wink, wink is probably an issue. Yeah. The higher level of AI that is genuinely the problem.
So before we get into the draft, this movie does end with Sonny kind of standing over. And like I said, if you go to our YouTube channel, you can watch this in full length. Our background of our conversation, you can see they're at. I don't know what bridge that is. I don't know what it's called, but I know it's a famous bridge that's been destroyed in this film. But you see Sonny at the top, where in Sonny's dream it was Spooner. Which I'm going to say Dell. I don't want to say Spooner anymore.
I'm going to keep saying Spooner.
You can keep saying Spooner. It was Dell in his dream, but I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm trying to figure out, I want to know from you, do you feel like there could have been a follow-up to this?
Yes.
Like, and I guess if so, how would they have done it? I mean,
just like, so, it kind of reminds me of Planet of the Apes. I'm always surprised that Planet of the Apes got like 3 sequels. But like it could have done it like that, where later on the robots just have their own society that's separate from the humans, and something happens where maybe like one robot went rogue and they have to like work together with the robots now to kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out like what the scenario would play out where Sonny is like a sentient human being robot.
Yeah.
And none of the other ones are. Is he gonna like program them to be?
I don't think so. Okay, spin-off idea.
Yeah.
Maybe Sonny realizes how good it is having sentience because he's benign. Like he's good. He's innately good. So maybe he gives like 5 robots underneath him sentience. Obviously, one of them goes bad because free will isn't good for everybody. Like not everyone is a good person. So that one person or that one robot that he gives sentience out of the 5 is one that goes bad. Will Smith only trusts Sonny. So now Will Smith and Sonny have to work together to kind of figure
Sonny
out
has to reluctantly come to Spooner and be like, listen, man, I messed up.
I messed up.
I messed up. All right. Yes. You might have been right. Get your gun. We're going robot.
And they got to figure out while this robot's trying to build up an army underneath him.
Okay.
And then there you go.
I like it. I'd be down for that. I mean, 20 years later, probably not, but
we're getting I Am Legend.
Yeah, that's true. With a based off of the alternate ending that never saw theaters. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing when they find out that Will Smith's pretty chill and alive in that movie. Yeah. I'm going to be watching it, obviously.
Yeah, I'll be there. Speaking of Michael B. Jordan, God, I didn't even do that on purpose. Yeah. I did not do that on purpose.
He's there. That's awesome. Okay. I'm down for a sequel. I think it would have been cool if they. I don't know. It was pretty big at the time. I remember it being like people were talking about this movie for quite a bit, especially now with like. It might be something that they revisit when the AI thing starts like picking up a little bit more in real life. You know, obviously it is right now. It's kind of getting big, but when they start putting them in robots,
I was gonna say I'm okay with robots. I'm almost okay with AI. It's when you start mixing the two. I don't need my robot to think for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I don't need my robot to like gather my patterns and start work going about. Like I just do what I ask
They're like,
and we're okay.
yeah, it's 8:30 a.m. You've eaten breakfast. It is time for stool. I'll carry you to
It's
the
like,
bathroom. Like, okay,
no,
wait,
I'm all
what?
right. I'm
Would you like
okay.
to wipe today? No, okay, that's a bit much. You real quick, you mentioned Planet of the Apes. The modern sequel or like
Yeah.
it's reboot with I think it started with James Franco.
Hmm.
Those are some of my favorite movies
They're
ever.
really
I
good.
love those
Caesars,
movies.
yeah,
They're so good.
they're really good.
And they're coming out with another one. Another one is
What?
coming.
A
Yeah.
fourth?
Yes. Yeah.
I wasn't
It's
there
diving even deeper. It's just like humans are almost inconsequential at this point. They're not even like a
because
factor.
this is technically a prequel to the Mark Wahlberg ones. So are we getting to that point then?
I don't think it's I don't think it's going to be tied to that, but I think you might get to the point where you see them become a civilization
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden like inadvertently you see human come back
Hmm.
from another time or however how they get there. I don't know what it is. I think that there might be like they might close the loop.
Okay.
But I'm excited for it because damn it, I love those movies. Like they're like
They're really
genuinely
good.
good movies.
Yeah.
They make you feel things for
Hmm.
CGI chimpanzees and orangutans that you wouldn't normally feel.
Yeah.
Okay, that being said, I think we're good. I'm good on iRobot. It was a fun. I'm glad we got to rewatch it. I'm sad I was so critical
I was very
because
critical too.
it did knock it down a few, but it's still a fun watch. Like the action. If you're watching it just for fun, like it's a great little popcorn flick to just throw on, and you see robots doing fun stuff and pissing Will Smith off. But if you look closely, there's a lot of holes where you could be like, all right, this is weird. Um, yeah, I guess we can get in the draft now, which I actually realize I'm not prepared for this sound. So now I'm gonna have to take a second and come over here and hit this sound. There it is.
There we go.
You almost said something to fill the
It's
gap,
all
but it
right.
doesn't
I
matter.
could.
What is it?
It'll come back later on. It'll come back
Okay,
in the
I didn't
prop.
want to. I didn't want to. Yeah, now that we're getting into the props, we'll be able to talk a little bit closer about some of these. Like I said in the beginning, when I finished this movie, I was actually kind of shocked. Maybe I wasn't sitting close enough to the TV. I don't know what it is, but it felt like a little light on the actual props that mattered in this movie.
Because you're sitting close to the TV.
I'm trying to make an excuse. All right, maybe I
Okay.
could have sat a little closer. All right, I could have seen. My 3-year-old was near me, kind of throwing stuff at me. I was a little distracted. Okay.
Okay.
But I wasn't distracted enough to nitpick it to hell like you just listened to me do for like the last half hour. I'm gonna go first in this one. If it's your first time watching or listening, what we do now is we do like a fantasy football kind of style draft of the props in this movie, based on what we feel like is the most iconic and the ones that we feel like would be really cool to collect and have in our collection, in our imaginary, unlimited size warehouse room in
Yes.
our imaginary house that we don't have. But
In
yeah.
VR, yo,
Oh,
back to
wait,
Ready Player One.
what?
We could actually have this in VR. If you guys have not seen Ready Player One, please
Okay.
do it, because what they do is you can make your own house and just fill it with whatever. It's essentially NFTs.
As
Fill it
I'm
with
saying,
whatever.
I just figured out a
Yes,
purpose for NFTs, and it's
that's what it
like
was.
you buy them so you
And
can
then
display them in
in
a
a
Ready Player One.
virtual home. That is what the concept of NFTs is it's a virtual ownership of something. That is what we will
Man,
in 20 years we can actually tie our two homes to this podcast.
wait.
So as people watch, they could walk through our house and see the things we drafted.
TM on this conversation, by the way.
I'm just saying, like
No. I'm
that
saying
is
now I have an
crazy.
idea. Let's go to the movie companies, right? We're gonna go to like all these big movie companies and just be like, listen, I have an idea. Work with me here. We're gonna make NFTs of every movie prop you've ever made.
That would be sick. And you
That's it.
actually put like numbers on it. That would be sick.
Hey, I'm just saying, all right? You can own Harry
That
Potter's
would
wand for no reason.
that would actually be crazy. And
But
oh
yeah,
my god, you're just getting me excited because I'm thinking if you have like augmented reality, like, and you
yeah,
have an NFT of like Harry Potter's wand, like it can do like the spells he did in the movie. Or like you have, if you're virtual reality, you have the Men in Black cart has a little red button. Like
that'd be
things
pretty
like
sick.
that would
Yeah.
be crazy. All right, I'm sorry.
All right.
I got sidetracked.
No, that
That's
was fun. That
wild.
was fun. I'm
Okay.
excited. I do think we might need to go in on a virtual reality like headset together because I want to see
Probably, yeah.
I want to see you in it. It would blow your mind. It's like it's insane. It's so much
I
fun.
love the people who like they dive into the TV like they're like
Yeah.
walking the flank and they just
Dude, no,
jump.
that happens. Like that happens. I swear to God. The PlayStation VR I had a game where you walked over a ledge and
Yeah,
you literally get vertigo. Like if you have your headphones on and
yeah.
you're putting it, dude, you're like it's
I
weird,
get
dude.
vertigo, not vertigo, but I get every time I'm playing Apex and I jump off something,
And it's
my
like that fall
stomach,
damage.
yeah,
Yeah.
my stomach does the like roller coaster thing
Yeah.
because it does such a good job with the motion blur. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing a sharp jump.
Anyway, that's fun. We'll maybe if we get one of those in the future, we'll film it. We'll throw it up on our YouTube channel. Movie Propcast on YouTube. Give it a subscribe while you're there. All right, first pick in the draft I have. This was a movie I picked. We did it based up because we had our conversation with the prop store. You can go back a couple videos, a couple episodes. We had a conversation with them over there and talked more about some props that we didn't actually do movies on. So now we're going back and touching them. One of them was iRobot, and one of the props that they had there may or may not actually be picked right now in this draft. All right, so first overall, it's my pick, and I think to me, I think it's easy because I think we've seen it in person. Like you just said, if you go back, you watch the prop. I want an NS5, specifically Sonny's.
Yes.
He had the blue eyes as opposed to the other ones. I think they were like a yellow or gold.
Yeah.
I want the Sunny NS5 just standing up, and yes, it would be absolutely weird.
And
to have in your house.
it lit up too. It lights
Yeah,
up.
it lit up. Yeah, it had like the red. You didn't want to see the red light.
No,
Red
that's
light was
bad.
not the move.
Red
That was
means
how you
dead.
know that was bad NS5. But
Yes.
I think it's pretty easy for the first pick, and then I'm gonna let it go to you. I think it's gonna get a little. This is when it gets a little spicy.
It is.
But yeah, I'm taking my NS5. I'm taking Sunny. I think that'd be awesome.
Something else that got more screen time than I actually I thought. And there was a major fight scene around it. I want Spooner's Audi. He was in that a decent bit.
Yeah. So when I first saw it, I was like, "Is this?" I was making sure when I was watching it, I was like, "Is this CGI? Is this CGI?
Yeah.
Is this CGI?"
Yeah.
And when he gets up, the door opens and it comes out, and I'm still wondering.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I saw it the second time where I was like, "Oh no, that's a real thing." Yeah. They actually made it for the film. I will say their take on futuristic vehicles is just widen the wheel well. Like it's just extend the wheel well. Like just give it the wide body kit.
Yes.
And that's future. That's how they did a lot of
they gave it balls instead of wheels. They have like they look like freaking Dysons, like the Dyson ball.
That is interesting.
They're rocking on that too. So no flat tires on those.
No, that's awesome. That if somebody solves the no flat tire thing and actually makes it make sense, that's a game changer for planet Earth.
You could turning left and right might be hard, but you could back up, go sideways. You could do a lot with balls as tires. I don't know how it would work turning though. Like I feel like the car would always face forward. Unless
I'm sure that they would figure it out.
The back wheels would just go like left as the front wheels go right, and I guess that would make a turn.
They would have to design it because we're conditioned to know how that feels to turn.
Yeah.
They would have to design it so it's not like a cart at like what is it IKEA, where it's like all wheels are moving at the same time, and you're just like, all right, I don't know how to control this thing. If you ever been to IKEA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those carts are insane. I like to put Elodie in it, our kid, and just spin it, like spin it. Yeah. So I'll be like, oh shoot, and I'll just push it out and spin it, and she's like, it's the best. Anyway, yeah, we live right next to an IKEA, so that's cool. All right, that's a good pick. I can't be mad at that. That was honestly probably going to be my pick coming back. You're the vehicle guy though. Like you have. I am. Somehow you managed to steal all the cars before I can get to them. And I'm not mad at it, but like, damn, can I get a vehicle?
Nah, man, I'm rolling. I have a car for every occasion.
So that obviously makes sense. I'm trying to figure out like what part of this. Oh, I don't know how many we were gonna go either. Like,
could you do 4? I could do 4.
I could probably do 4, but the fourth one's gonna be probably a little weird. But we'll see.
Right,
I think a little weird's okay. We'll go 4 rounds. So round 1's done. I picked Sunny. You picked Audi. I think I want to get. Do I want to reach for this right now though?
Is it a reach?
I don't know. Give me the black Converses. They made a big deal
Damn,
about it.
I
love a
almost
good
picked
branding.
that. I
Yeah.
almost picked that second. That's not a reach. That's not a
No,
reach.
give me.
It was the first prop of the movie that you see.
Yeah. Give me Del Spooner's vintage 2004 Converse shoes, and they were clean until they got oiled up at the end or after the car crash. But yeah, I mean, it feels bad because you look at them and they're just Converse, right? Like they're just they could be any pair of shoes.
The thing is, I mean, I am a movie head, but I would see those on a pedestal and I would know.
Yeah.
Like I would either say, are those the Sandlot or are those iRobot?
Yeah. I mean, luckily I would display it with a big iRobot logo like right below it. So you'd be like, and I think, those are the shoes. Like,
and I think the Sandlot were either navy or blue, and I think Dell's were black. But we'll see.
All right. Moving on. Your pick.
Were Benny's blue or red? Sorry. Anyway.
I don't think they were black. They definitely weren't black.
They weren't black. I feel like they were red or blue. I can't remember. My second pick is going to be Spooner's badge.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
That was good.
You see it like 3 times in the movie.
And
it was cool. And it glows, which is cool. Like I liked his badge.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. And it literally has his face on it, right? Like that's awesome. It was flashed in everybody's face. It has Will Smith's face on it.
I have to go back real quick.
It looks awesome. I totally agree. It was on my list, and that was probably coming up getting picked by me. So that's pretty tough. I think as far as like significance to the movie, oh boy. Okay, hold on.
You know what's crazy? Neither of us picked a badge in Men in Black, and I know that they had that.
That's not true. I feel like we did.
I don't. Did. Oh, maybe you did. Maybe I didn't write it. We saw it with the prop store.
We did see it with the prop store. Actually, I don't think anybody picked a badge.
No one picked it.
I was wondering what our interaction was with that, and I was like, oh no, wait. Yeah, we only saw it with the prop store, I think.
We saw it with the prop store, and they like had funny little Easter eggs in it. I don't think anyone picked a badge in that.
I don't know why I'm going back right now. This is insane. I shouldn't. I have the same notebook, but then I realized the one before had the stuff. Like this one starts with The Notebook when we did the Notebook special.
So why are you going back? The Men in Black was our second movie.
I know. I thought for some reason it might be at the beginning of this, and it's not. So now I just look like a fool. But now I remember The Notebook. By the way, if you love the movie The Notebook, we did an episode on it, and it was absolutely splendid.
That was. I don't think I could keep saying that that's our best episode anymore, because we were just talking about The Grinch before this, and the Grinch might take it, but The Notebook was really the Notebook is an all-time. That's the top.
We really need to get back into like another like rom-com-y type thing, like to at least kind of break down. I feel like that we tap into our feelings a little bit. It was pretty nice.
Unfortunately, when this airs, it's most likely the week of Valentine's Day, but that would have been a
whoopsie doopsie. I think that's when we did The Notebook. Actually, was
it is? That's why I brought it. Yeah.
Well, listen, that's why another reason why I thought Will Smith was going to have relations with this
That's
woman.
why you picked this movie?
I thought he was
going to
be a little love in here.
Valentine's Day.
Sonny experienced love. All right, let it happen. Okay, anyway. Spooner's badge, good pick. I respect it. I'm sitting here waffling. I made a note that I was going to pick this because it actually has significance in the movie, but I think they both do, and I'm just going to go in another direction. I'm going to take the tube at the end of the movie filled with nanites.
The nanite tube?
It's huge. Yes. Bro, it's actually really big.
Yeah, it is.
So, and it looks pretty crazy. I know that the inside sparkliness is probably CGI.
Yeah.
But I'll fill it with some water and some sparkles, and we can shake it. It'll be like a little snow globe.
That's a good pick.
I like it. So the tube with nanites, obviously it's important. They shut down Vicky in probably the weirdest way possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually kind of cool to see him like grab with his bionic arm and slide all the way down.
There was no discussion though. My wife and I were talking, and I was like, "Why did he throw the tube?" And she was like, "He just had to trust him." I'm like, "Yeah." But there was no discussion. He didn't know. Actually, the thing I said was, "How did he know that he had a robotic arm?" Because that didn't come up between the two of them. She was like, "He just trusted him." I'm like, there was no
jump to his death.
There was no indication of chuck the tube, alley-oop.
When Del slow-mo jumps out to grab it, I'm thinking in my head how funny it's gonna be if that was me to just watch it go woo and just fall, because I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm leaping off of this.
No,
like, it's hilarious to me.
They had a Dwayne Wade and LeBron connection.
Yeah,
with no, like, at least LeBron and Wade know what each other can
Yeah.
do. These two don't know a damn thing about each other. Sonny
Yeah.
should not have. Yeah.
Yeah, that
He
was
didn't
funny to
even
me.
chuck it at Spooner.
He just threw it out in the
Yes,
middle of
he
nowhere.
threw it out.
Yeah. I don't know what he was thinking there, but hey, it made for an awesome shot. The director got what they wanted out of that, which is all that really mattered. Like Sonny threw it there because plot and direction, and that was it. They're like, "What? Oh wait, how are we gonna finish this in a really cool way? They're just gonna dump the nanites in the top, and it's gonna blow up. Now that's lame. Let's find a way to get him to throw himself off 30 stories."
Sonny's definitely played 5-on-5 basketball because Will gave him that look, and he was like, "All right, I'm putting it in space."
Ridiculous.
Like, he's definitely. I want to see Sonny on a basketball court.
You don't want to see that, bro. He'd go pro. It'd be crazy.
He probably
would. He'd be burning
greatest freaking assist ever.
He looked like Christian McCaffrey if he was like a running back. That's what he'd be, except for just bionic. All right, you're up with your third pick.
Yes. If you went with the nanite injector, I think I have to go with the holographic projector.
That's on my list. Dr. Dalford. Yes. I put Dr. Alfred Lannings, which is like Dr. Alfred Lannings, and I just said Dalfred.
Dalfred Dr. Acula.
Yes, that's a good one. So yeah, his hologram projector little piece, which kept coming up in the movie. I don't know why he didn't spend more time talking to that thing.
Dude, I would be the worst person in this time because I wrote the holographic projectors are kind of like little choose your own adventure stories. Like you say something and it leads you through a conversation. I would just leave those for people, not kill myself, not be dead, and just be like, hey, you have to decipher what I want from this projector and just have a conversation with it. And you're just gonna, please tell me that this was Alfred Lanning. Was he in Ready Player One? No, he wasn't.
No.
He wasn't. Because I pictured him being the guy Holiday, but it wasn't. Anyway, he's just like having a conversation with this projector, and the projection is like, you have to ask the right questions. Now that's the right question.
Yeah, like, and then he's like,
and that's it. That's it. Yeah, like, that was the right question, and did not give an answer. That was it. He was done. I was like, he didn't answer anything.
And I know that he did like have to kind of skirt around the fact that Vicky was there. So when he's making this, Vicky's like, "What's this guy on about right now? Like, what is he doing?" Like,
but the thing is, how do you input what the right answer is? Like, he must have been like, now you have to ask me a question. Now, when he says, why do the robots kill people? Then I say, that was the right answer. Like, what, how do you make that input without Vicky knowing?
I don't know. That's above my pay grade. All right. I'm not, you're not supposed to read into this stuff, man.
Sorry. Yes, I forgot. Sci-fi.
Okay. So you take Dr. Alfred Lanning's hologram projector. That's how you say it.
Projector.
Okay, final round, last picks. This is good because I still got what I was kind of debating about. And there's still some good stuff that is left over. I didn't give this movie enough credit. All right, just the list looked a little light, but maybe I was just picking stuff like I had that really met my criteria. So this stuff is all still pretty decent. Because I have Sonny and the NS5.
Yeah.
I think it would behoove me to also take some of Sonny's best artwork. I want his drawing of the bridge that you see at the end, that you see behind us here on YouTube. If you're watching here, I want that drawing, that little hand drawing by Sonny. He said he said he can't make a beautiful painting like Picasso or whatever he said, whatever he was like grilling him about. I love that clapback, by the way, in that conversation where Sonny's like, "Can you?" And he's like, bruh, I can't even get out of bed. I can't even get out of bed anymore. Like, what? That's such a burn. Yeah. It's like, can you compose a beautiful symphony? No, can you? That's like some stuff that like you're gonna like your kid's gonna start, like you get in an argument with your kid fights you, and he's like,
it's kind of funny because like AI now, like Dolly and stuff like that. It's like maybe it could compose something like that.
There'd be a point, I think, where music is something that you can AI generate.
I think there's probably already a thing that can listen, because music's just patterns. Like you put in like this beat per minute is what sounds good, and then you just say these instruments go to this beats per minute, and then I'm sure something could come out.
Yeah. I'm going to be like, AI, can you make a song that sounds like boom, boom, clap? And that's it. That's it. You just go for it.
The reason I think it could is recently we are not sponsored, but Audio, the thing that you can get social music for social media, they're like a copyright free music thing. You can actually throw in a YouTube clip and say, I want a song like this song. So
Okay.
like I could put in a song by a band I like, a Foo Fighters song, and then Audio will say within our catalog, these are the 3 songs that are closest to that style of song.
That's cool. That's
So
pretty cool. Yeah.
so if you could do that, I think that they could AI could generate a song.
That being said, I'm taking Sonny's drawing.
Yes.
I think it was cool. Again, that was another thing that I was concerned that wasn't an actual physical thing until he pulled it out from folded up, because he just kind of scratched it. But it was also on the back of like a USR paper. Like it was written on the back of like a form, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, I'll take that image, and that should wrap it up for me.
So the one thing I did want, I'm not sure if it was CGI'd completely. So I'm gonna just bypass it. I'm gonna skip it. Along with another common thread for me, I'm gonna take Spooner's gun. It wasn't a normal pistol. It had a futuristic look to it.
Yeah, so you're saying the thick handgun, not not the little like Uzi.
No,
not
the
Uzi
one,
thing.
and not the shotgun that that John had. John, his
yeah,
boss.
the
because that looked kind of sick too. Yeah, that looks sick too. My wife was like, "Why was he prepared with that? Like, for what situation in a world without crime did he need a shotgun in his office like that?"
Never know, man. Never know.
Yeah.
I don't. If I was a police officer, man, you gotta like. I don't know. If you have your desk job, you're probably not on like the day-to-day operations. You're not out on like the task force, out in the streets.
So you have
hide guns in your office, bro. So like you run through the scenario. You run through scenarios where you're like, oh no, someone's here, and that's
this
it.
man was ready. Like that thing blasted a hole through.
He was pretty badass. I didn't think we didn't get enough of him. We didn't get enough of him. I think that anybody with like a shotgun where you just like, he took a couple out. I mean, he was working there, but he eventually just had to sit on the floor, like it's like gym class or something, and like you're waiting for the bell to ring. But anyway, that's a good pick. I think that's awesome.
It's gonna go with my armory. I've got quite a few guns too. I think
you do. Men in Black put out some bangers though. That was
Men in Black. Yes.
Yeah, that was good. This is more like just a slight tweak to a little handgun there. But all right, so let's wrap it up here. I'll do a little recap. First pick, I picked Sonny NS5. It's iconic. We were fortunate enough to see it with the prop store. You took the Audi. I think there was like a number. It was like an NSQ or something. I don't know what it was called, but it was like they had an actual name for it. But little branding for Audi, and Audi's now, especially with that, they were like the first to get that like little LED strip on the front of their lights. It makes it look makes their cars look so much more futuristic.
Do you know if Audi did the Iron Man car? I think they did. I thought they did.
I think they were Audi.
Why are they just...
They'd love that. They're like, oh, you want a futuristic car? Guess what? We've got 16 concepts that we've fully created and fleshed out. Feel free to use one of these. And they just doll it up and make it look like that. I think it was an Audi. I took the black Converse. You took Spooner's badge. I took the tube with nanites at the end of the movie that eventually shut down Vicky. You took the hologram projector for Dr. Alfred Lanning. I took the image that Sonny drew. I don't know why I'm like out of breath.
You need a job.
Don't make me read all this. Now, and then you took Detective Spooner's handgun. Some pretty decent props, I thought. After initially being skeptical, I think that at the end of the day, pretty decent movie. I think it's a sci-fi film, so yeah, that's why we kind of primarily do these types of movies, because they do produce, to me, the best props, the most iconic props in film history. And I think especially you can see that whenever you go check out any prop store auction that they're doing. The most iconic stuff is the sci-fi stuff, and I think that's why we keep dipping into it. But like we said, we probably will get back into some more beautiful stories of love.
So
here in the next couple months.
Yeah. Audi has done 3 cars for Iron Man.
Nice. Yeah, he's Iron Man's an Audi guy. You didn't know?
I didn't know, but geez. All right.
They are sweet looking though. They all look pretty good.
What else did you have on your list that we didn't pick?
Oh, good one. Dell's jacket, leather jacket.
He was on.
It was on him like the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like his iconic out that and like the little like beanie that he had that was just like always
His
kind of off center.
his wardrobe was just like I'm a cool dude the entire time. He had neither of us picked Sarah's necklace.
Yeah, I almost wrote it down. I didn't write it down, but I almost wrote it because if you really think about it, I'm trying to figure out like I don't know. Like I get why he wore it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It just didn't mean that much to me. Like when
Oh
I'm watching
wow,
the film.
so you would have saved Spooner. Got it. I got it.
No, okay. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying
You're
like
like, yeah, little girl, don't care about it.
no, it's sad, but like they had to like recover the car and then he got the necklace. That kid didn't have like a family. I don't know. It was weird. Why did he get the necklace? I don't know. If you really think about it, why does he have that necklace? I don't know why he has it. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to talk about dark stuff like that.
Sorry.
But it did get into my head where I was like, wait, why is he the one with that necklace? Like that kid probably had a family. Like
Yeah.
Anyway. What I was going to pick, had you somehow, even though I had the first pick and I knew what I was picking, had you somehow gotten Sonny's NS5, the one that Gigi had, the gold one, she won the lottery. It was gold.
I didn't notice that. I didn't realize it was gold.
It was different than any other one.
Really?
She won the lottery, and if you go back and watch it, the one in the house when she gets it, the upgraded one where she kind of surprises Dell.
Yeah.
It's not silver. It's gold lined. Like all the metal's gold. It looked badass.
That's sick. That's
I was
cool.
like, that's sweet.
I wish I had paid attention because I probably should have drafted.
You could have got one yourself.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I wrote down the Hansel and Gretel book, but then I realized quickly that it really is meaningless, even though he does reference it later, and that's kind of like the breadcrumbs thing that they were talking about. And before we go, let me crap on Del Spooner's detective skills even more, that he has to wait for Gigi to talk about breadcrumbs for him to realize that he's a detective and he's supposed to follow clues. He's like, Gigi, you're a genius. I forgot how to do my job completely. What? And then he goes back to grinding out video and trying to find. I just didn't understand how that.
Yeah.
Like I get having a moment with Gigi should have been in there somewhere because I mean it's just a sweet old lady and you wanted to see her more, but she shouldn't have triggered him how to do his job that he should have already been doing. Sorry, I don't want to keep crapping on this guy, but like I watched that and I was like, what is he doing differently? He's going back to doing his job.
Yeah.
But he's following breadcrumbs now? Like you're
he's looking closer.
He leaned into the computer a little closer. So yeah, anyway, Hansel and Gretel book I did not get. And then Dell's motorcycle. I could have had a modes of transportation. His motorcycle, which absolutely gets destroyed for no reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely no reason. He sees
just
Shia
jumped
LaBeouf's
off,
character in the middle of the city fight. And he's like, I got a great idea. I'm going to save this kid. And just hit a ramp and ghost ride your whip. What are you doing? Like he goes 20 feet in the air and you get an awesome shot that is like completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And you just ditch your only means of transportation that's off the grid. You know what I mean?
Every one of those humans in that riot should have died. There's no reason they should have been able to match NS5s.
No, yeah. I love that they were like, how do we get Shia LaBeouf back into this?
Yeah,
let's
leading
make
a
him
mob.
lead the entire human revolution in the city against robots that can do anything. Yeah.
There's no reason that.
Yeah.
No, go.
There were definitely human casualties that we didn't see. Like if this was a rated R movie, we're seeing these people get ripped in half. Like they're getting absolutely decimated because there's no way. The strength of these things is insane. But and they also didn't have guns or anything. They maybe he picked a stick up.
There was a couple of like Molotov cocktails, some bats.
Yeah.
I think a couple of people did have guns because my wife said, "Why did they have guns?"
Oh, okay.
So I think a handful of people did have guns.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. That was my list, but that was all I had left off.
So something I wrote down that I thought might possibly be practical effects. Vicky's core. Only because when we talked to the Men in Black woman, she made like the Galaxy on Orion's belt. So I'm thinking maybe there was like either Vicky's core or Sonny's brain core or his heart core. I feel like one of them had to have.
I mean, when he jams that nanite tube, he jams it into something. Right?
Yeah.
That's something. So at the very least, a giant ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been something.
I also had Hansel and Gretel, and then I had the earbud. I don't know. It's just like a normal,
The Bluetooth little headset.
Those exist now, but
I
for
know.
some reason theirs just looked a little cooler. I don't know.
Because it was like a light constantly on, which I still think some of them do now. Yeah, I love how everybody. Most times you see like a meme or something, or somebody talking about somebody with a Bluetooth headset like that, they're a douchebag. But if you're
Yeah.
wearing like AirPods, it's okay. Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, it's funny. Anyway, that's it. It was an
That's
exciting
it.
movie. I'm glad we got to watch it. We'll probably do another Will Smith movie soon. But
Probably,
you get
most
to pick the
likely.
next movie.
Okay.
And maybe we don't have to be bound or restricted to the prop store movie table that we got to do. We will get to those movies in the future because we do love those movies. And we might even do it on our next episode. I'm not going to pigeonhole you, but I'm just saying. You can open your mind. Use your imagination.
Might do it, maybe not, maybe will, possibly.
I'm not trying to force you to pick off the table. All right. I want you. I feel like we both did it these last two episodes with Blade and iRobot. I think it's okay if we want to step out. I want to kind of keep it spicy. You know what I mean? Let's step out and do something different. I've been watching a couple newer movies. Kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm not going to say what they are, but I'm saying like we could go some newer movie. We could go old. What's up? Whatever you want. Possibilities are endless. But just know whatever this next episode is, if you don't like it, blame Tyler.
And I think that's how we end it. Yeah, blame me.
Blame Tyler. All right. See you guys later. Bye.
All
you
right,
say
guys.
it? I feel like you got to say it first.
I love you guys.
They waited the whole episode. Love you. Bye. If you didn't wait, you're a dick. Go back and listen to the rest of it. All right.
Rewind 52 minutes. Let's go.
Get back in there. All right. Thanks. Bye. Love you. Mean it.